welcome to Tallapoosa, Georgia, as Workhorse Video Productions and WBHF Radio bring you coverage of the Hurricanes football season for 2003. Tonight, the Canes on the road at Haralson County. We're about to have the coin toss, and we'll send it down to the field.
Shit for me, okay? We don't want any yellow flags from the officials, unsportsmanlike, or anything that'll cause us to affect the game. We hope the best team wins. We wish you both teams good luck, okay? Are you guys the visitors? So y'all gonna call a toss. Who's gonna call it? That's tails right there. All right, genuine gold coin. Whoever wins the toss gets to keep it. Not really. You gonna call it? Not really. You gonna call it in the air? Loud enough for everybody to hear you. He called heads. It is tails. You won the toss, Blue.
Defer to the second half.
Defer. Okay, Blue wins the toss and defers.
Haralson County won the toss and deferred to the second half.
Kick that way. Do y'all get on Blue?
Starting the ball game, Cartersville will receive, Haralson County will kick off and defend the north
So
goal.
Scott, Haralson County has won the toss. They defer to the second half. Cartersville, of course, takes the football. And so another week of high school football getting ready to get underway. And what a great football game we're going to have tonight. It's the undefeated Hurricanes riding high after the Carrollton victory, looking to continue things against the Haralson County Rebels.
Well, as you said, Matt, the Hurricanes already 5-0 in the season. The first time they've been 5-0 since 1999 when they won it all in AA. Now they're up in AAA, which is basically what AA was in 1999. And tonight they're on the road at Haralson County. In a game they're very much favored to win, but of course, that's why they play the football game. The Hurricanes have made the long road trip up here to Tallapoosa. You don't want them to look ahead because next weekend is the big one against LaGrange. And of course, I know the Canes have that in the back of their mind, but tonight they've got to take care of business against a Haralson County team that's very dangerous. They throw the football as much as anyone in the state. They go 4 wide receivers consistently throughout their offensive scheme, and it should be a good one tonight. As you said, Matt, the Hurricanes will get the football to start things off, and that's exactly what they like to do. Get the ball and move down the field.
Certainly so, Scott. You know, I'm looking over the Haralson County football roster. They've got 47 guys on the roster. There's no way they've got 47 guys dressed out right now. I'm telling you, they talked to some of the personnel up here with Haralson County. They had a wide range of injuries as the actually predating the beginning of the season. It has continued as the season's gone on. Haralson County sits right now at 1-4, 0-3 in region play. Their losses, however, have come to good football teams. They have lost to Cedartown, LaGrange, and Carrollton to this point. And we look for your Cartersville fan. You got to hope that continues tonight against Cartersville. As you mentioned, a team in Haralson County that goes 4 wide on the offensive side of the football. It's going to be a little bit of a different look. We may be here for a while. If there's incomplete passes, the clock's going to stop. If they're successful in getting first downs, the clock's going to stop a lot as well. But let's take a look. Since that Cartersville offense is going to be on the field, who are some of the guys that are going to be toting the ball for the Hurricanes tonight, Scott?
Well, starting up front for the Canes, of course, Matt Hickam, Ian Smith, Corey McCombs, Robbie Livesey, and Jeffrey Burnett. They're the offensive line. They provide the support for the great running game. Wayne Terry, the tight end, will be in there. Terrell Johnson will start at one wide receiver. Roman Gilliam at the other. A.T. Barnes could be mixed into that starting lineup. I guess actually Barnes may get the start. Terrell Johnson will come off the bench. It'll be one or the other. Quarterback, of course, is Alan Barnes. Out of the eye, Zach Kiesler will run at fullback. Chris McClendon will get the start at tailback, and Antoine Sams will also be worked into the scheme as well. McClendon can also play some fullback. So there's the starting lineup for the Canes.
Scott, of course, key to note that Ramo Nesbitt out for this week. He'll be back next week against LaGrange. And they'll also get Barrett Knapp's back, who was injured earlier.
Yes. Well, the kick is a short floating kick. It'll be fielded back at the 1-yard line by Chris McClendon, and the ball rolls into the end zone. Actually couldn't hang on to the football, and the Hurricanes will take over on the 20-yard line. In high school football, you cannot run anything out of the end zone.
Yeah, but at the same time, they whistled that dead. I hope that's not an indication of things that come. It went off McClendon's hands and went into the end zone. And once it went into the end zone, the referee blew the whistle for the touchback. But actually, it's a live football after he's touched it, and it goes back there. But so anyway, no harm, no foul. It's just opening kickoff goes in the end zone. Cartersville and Alan Barnes will start from their own 20-yard line. You're listening to WBHF AM 1450 at Santini, along with Scott Singer. Scott, they come out of the eye to open up.
Well, the Hurricanes will work it out of the eye. In at fullback for the Canes is Devin Evans. Chris McClendon in at tailback, and on the first play they throw to the flat to Antoine Sams, and he's hit and dropped incomplete as the ball gets right through his hands. Coming on to make the tackle that time was number 7, Tyler Bright.
Ball was thrown a little bit high to Sam. It's probably something he could have caught. Would have only been a gain of about 3 or 4 maybe. They'll switch up personnel, take out Wayne Terry, and bring in Roman Gilliam.
Gives the Canes a little more punch offensively. This time they go with 3 wide receivers as Alan Barnes will go under center. Again, an I backfield for the Canes, and this time under play action, Barnes rolls out, throws for the flat, and it's complete to Roman Gilliam up at the 25-yard line. A pickup of 5 on second down brings up 3rd and 5.
Nice pass by Barnes, nice catch by Gilliam. A little bit of pressure on Barnes that time as he rolled to his right, hit Gilliam on the out pattern, bring up 3rd down and 5.
I got to give kudos to Haralson County here on the press box, Matt. What a great place to call a football game. Got a great vantage point. My own enclosed area with you here. This is kind of nice.
Hey, keep your hands to yourself.
All right, I backfield now as the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They pitch it out to Chris McClendon, who catches a high pitch. He heads across the 30, gets the first down and more, out to the 34-yard line, and the Hurricanes convert a kind of busted play there, and they move the chains for the first time this evening.
Well, good job by McClendon as they ran the option to the left-hand side. Barnes, of course, pitching with his left hand, had a little bit of a high toss. McClendon looks it in and is able to get around left end and get good positive yardage for the first down. Good lead block by Devin Evans to enable that long run as well.
Well, checking into the game for the Hurricanes is Roman Gilliam as the Canes will bring it up to the line. They'll go with no tight end this time, an I formation. 2 wide receivers to the right side of the formation. 1 to the left is A.T. Barnes out of the I. Alan Barnes goes under center, and Barnes hands it off right up the middle to Chris McClendon, who gains about a yard on the play and will be dropped right there.
Hey, what ball ended up loose, recovered by Haralson County, but they're going to whistle that down.
They're going to give him forward progress up to the 35. Actually, they're going to spot him just shy of the 35-yard line.
Clay Kilgore on the tackle there, Scott. Nice tackle by him. Stops him for no gain.
5th play of the drive coming up for the Canes right here. 10:28 to go here in quarter number 1. No score from Tallapoosa, Georgia, and Haralson County High School. The Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Again out of the I, twins to the right side of the formation. They drop back, throw it across the top, and Roman Gilliam makes a spectacular catch, but it's incomplete. He went up to get it and almost pulled that one down, man.
Well, that would have been a spectacular catch. Caught Gilliam streaking right down the middle and had it in his hands. Good defense back there by Haralson County. It was Chris Ferrister. I checked that. It was J.J. Holcomb back there to apply the hit. Knocked it free of Gilliam, so they'll bring up a 3rd down and long, but I would suspect that we'll see that play a little bit later in the game. Gilliam had a seam, nobody put a hand on him as he broke the line of scrimmage, and Barnes put it right where he needed to.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Again, they'll come out of the I, this time with a tight end. He'll go to the right side of the formation, out of the I. Alan Barnes goes under center, and this time he fakes the pitch, throws it on the reverse side out to A.T. Barnes, who's got a lane across the 40, the 45 at midfield, and Barnes brought down at the 40-yard line of Haralson County. A great pickup that time of almost 22 yards, and the Hurricanes will move the chains. The clock stops with 9:58 to go here in the opening quarter. Hurricanes opening drive is their second first down.
Boy, very quick 26-yard gain right there by A.T. Barnes. Finally executed screenplay, and Barnes got one block and got it upfield in a hurry.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Again, they'll run out of the I. Tight end to the right side of the formation, to the wide side of the field. They pitch it out to Chris McClendon, who's looking for the corner. McClendon turns it upfield and pushes his way toward the 36-yard line. Chris McClendon dancing a little bit in the backfield. He's got to go straight through the hole, man.
Well, really, Haralson did a good job of stringing that out a little bit, and I think instead of just dancing, I think he was kind of waiting for a couple blocks to take hold. When he didn't get it, he lowered his shoulder and got 3 yards, as we now have a rebel down on the field. So while they tend to him, we'll take a 30-second break. 9:33 to go, first quarter, no score from Tallapoosa, Georgia. You're listening to WBHF and watching the Workhorse Video Productions Game of the Week. Bring it back when you want to.
And welcome back to Tallapoosa, Georgia. Hurricanes with the football after the hurt player Ty Wilson is removed from the field. Canes will come out of a wing tee this time as Alan Barnes goes under center. This time he'll roll out under play action, drops across, throws through the middle of the field, has a receiver in Antoine Sams up at the 32-yard line. That's good enough for a first down, and the Hurricanes will move the chains as he's dropped stopped right there, and the clock will stop momentarily with 9:16 to go here in the opening quarter. Again, no score from Haralson County High School, and the Canes pick up their third first down of the drive. 8th play of this drive coming up right here as Chris McClendon will check out of the game as Alan Barnes comes from the sidelines with the play.
A little surprised that Cartersville's come out throwing the ball as much as they have. Usually if you got a team that throws a lot, well, the defense has been practicing against the pass a lot. I thought they'd come out running it a lot more than they have, but they've been having great success.
Well, here the Canes go. They pitch it off around the right end to Antoine Sams, who dives right across the middle, across the 20 down to the 18-yard line. A pickup of 10 yards on first down, and he's going to be very near the first down sticks.
Boy, great run by Antoine. Really, our vantage point here in Haralson County is we're actually above the lights, but a good vantage point. It really gives you an opportunity to see some of these lanes open up. And Scott, you mentioned it, as close as he is, they're going to bring the chains across to see if he actually has that first down yardage. They're almost doing you a favor here if you come up an inch or two short, so you can maybe take a free play, take a shot back in the end zone.
Well, Matt, I wouldn't trade the environment in Cartersville on a Friday night for anything, but I tell you, this is a wonderful place to watch a football game. We got great food behind us. Kudos to the people up here at Haralson County. They have been nothing but fantastic since we've arrived here, and what a great place to see a game. I've got one of the best vantage points I've ever had at a game. I feel like I'm at the Dome looking down on the field. I mean, this is great.
It certainly is, and you know, actually, I'm looking at the section off press box and the windows that open, and it's almost like what we were hoping they designed the press box over at Weinman Stadium to be. But anyways, I agree with you. Would not trade the facilities that we have and the environment that we have at Weinman Stadium for what we have here tonight. So
8:38 to go here, and the Hurricanes do get the first down as they measure, and now they'll bring it up to the line. Out of the eye again, and this time they hand off to Antoine Sams up the middle, who bounces off one tackler, looks for the corner. He's at the 15, turns it up at the 10, he's at the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown. He goes 18 yards in for the score, and just like that, the Hurricanes put 6 on the board, and they lead it early here with 8:22 to go here in quarter number 1.
Great, you know, in basketball they call it court awareness. It's field awareness in football. But as Antoine worked his way to the left-hand side, you know, bounced off a couple tacklers and then was able to out-pursue a couple guys at the corner. Good block downfield by A.T. Barnes, staying with his man and not turning around to see what the action is. And as a result, Sam's able to get around him and scoot just into the corner of the end zone. Good opening drive for the Hurricanes.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring Chad Rhodes in to attempt the extra point. And we'll wait on the kick here. The snap is down, the kick is on the way, and it's good. The Canes lead it 7-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the weekend, listening to WVHF AM 1450. And welcome back to Haralson County High School. You're listening to WVHF and watching the high school football game of the week. As the Hurricanes take the opening kickoff, they drive right down the field 80 yards in a little over 3.5 minutes in a drive that took 10 plays, and the Canes are in the end zone. They lead it 7-0.
Such a luxury for the other team to give you the football to start off, and then you march it down the field and give yourself the lead. It's, you know, I would expect that in future weeks, folks that win the toss may want to roll their offense out there to start the game. Seems like everybody's been playing behind against this team.
That has been one of the keys to the season, is Chad Rhodes will kick this one off. It is a short floating kick. It will be fielded at the 15-yard line, that time by Tyler Bright. And
all right, now once again, Scott, we've got an official's bit of confusion during the kickoff, as Cartersville often does. It was a short high kick that came down around the 15. There was one player that signaled for the fair catch, and yet another player caught it and attempted to run. They whistled it dead right there, but what should really happen is the play plays itself out, and then there's a penalty for deception, for no other word. A legal procedure or whatever it is, you just mark it from there. Because if that guy would have started running the football back and there's a fumble and Cartersville recovers it, then they would have the opportunity to decline it. So a couple bits of miscommunications during special teams for the officials early on.
Well, Haralson County will take over at their own 16-yard line, Matt. With 8:20 to go, they drop back to pass. They throw it over the top. It is a little floating ball, and it is going to be picked off by the Canes up at the 39-yard line. Terrell Johnson came away with the interception, and Cartersville takes over. So one up, one down right there for the Rebels as they try to throw it over the middle, and Cartersville comes up big defensively. It looks like the ball might have floated out of the quarterback's hands and got lost up in the lights, and, well, Terrell Johnson came away with the interception.
Scott, I certainly hope that ball slipped out of Radvansky's hands, because That ball was in the air. It looked a little bit like a punt. I'm not trying to be funny, but that ball was in the air for far too long, and Terrell Johnson able to run underneath that and make the play. They're going to have to not put quite so much air into that if they plan to have any success against these defensive backs.
So the Hurricanes take over. They'll work from the Haralson County, looks like the 43-yard line, and now they'll run right up the middle to Chris McClendon, who picks up almost 11 on first down, and that'll move the chains.
Scott, I actually think that was Chris Cochran on the carry. Haven't seen him on the offensive side of the ball all season long. Not unless my eyes are deceiving me, and they are, because it is, actually no, it is Chris Cochran who's in at fullback who got that carry.
He's in at fullback, and McClendon is in at tailback now for the Canes. They'll bring the tight end to the right side of the formation out of that pro eye set, and this time under play action. They'll roll out, and this time he's going to keep it himself as Barnes crosses the 20, the 15, stays on his feet at the 10, and now he'll walk into the end zone. So just like that, Alan Barnes goes 32 yards in for the score, and Cartersville puts another 6 on the board. They now lead it 13-0 with 7:35 to play here in quarter number 1. Cartersville up quickly 13-0.
Another great run by Alan Barnes. Seems like we say it every week, but breaking tackles and keeping his head up and making things happen. As you mentioned, 32-yard scamper. Put that behind the Cochran run as well. 2 plays, 43 yards. And Cartersville with an early 2-score lead.
So Chad Rhodes will come on to attempt the extra point. Hurricanes only needed 2 plays to get into the end zone. The snap is down on the extra point. The kick is up, it's good. Cartersville leads it 14-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WBHF AM 1450.
An Antoine Sam 17-yard touchdown run, an interception by Terrell Johnson, and then a 32-yard run by Alan Barnes. And just like that, the Hurricanes are up 14-0 on the Haralson County Rebels. 7:35 to go in the first quarter. Haralson County ran 1 offensive play. It was that interception by Johnson. They will get their second possession, and to tell you what happens next, here's Scott Singer.
Thanks a lot, Matt. That is the second touchdown of the year for Alan Barnes. He has 26 attempts for 117 yards coming into this game, so you can make it 27 attempts now and make it a 149 on the board for him this season with 2 touchdowns. 7:35 to go here in quarter number 1 as Chad Rhodes puts it down on the 40-yard line, and the Hurricanes will kick off for the second time. It is another chip shot down the left-hand side. It'll be fielded at the 20-yard line. The return man that time, number 7, Tyler Bright. He's dropped after a short return. Looks like he'll get up toward the 24-yard line, and that's where Haralson County will take over. 8 yards better than their previous field position. 7:27 to go here in quarter number 1. Cartersville leading it 14-0. You're listening to WBHF AM 1450. You're also watching the high school football game of the week, which can be seen every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock and every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Actually at 9:30, we're on the Frank Barton Show at 9 a.m. And then following the Frank Barton Show, you can see all of Hurricane football games on Saturday morning. Out of the shotgun they come this time, and they run right up the middle as the quarterback, Radvansky, takes it and gains maybe a yard on first down as he goes right up the middle.
Zach Kiesler, Darius Benham there to make the tackle. And a minimal gain at best for Radvansky. They come 4 wide. Brandon Wood, the only running back back to give any kind of deception at all. They tried running a quarterback draw, but really you got to establish the fact that you can throw the football before you can start running plays like that.
7 minutes to go here in the game, or in the quarter rather, as they'll come again with 4 wide receivers. Out of the shotgun goes Radvansky. In the backfield is Brandon Wood, the sophomore. He's his protection back, and he hands it off to him right up the middle. Actually, the quarterback keeps it this time as Radvansky has a great fake. He gets across the 30 up near the 35, and that's going to be very near a Rebel first down. Great fake that time in the backfield by Radvansky. And they do move the chains, so the first down of the game for the Rebels. So they'll have it at their own 35. It'll be 1st and 10. Canes really played the fullback well that time. Unfortunately, he didn't have the football.
I was
6
watching
white shirts around the fullback.
I was watching the quarterback. I was glad I was listening to you to know that they had the fullback. Tyler Bright checks out of the game. They stay with 4 wide.
4 wide receivers again. Out of the shotgun comes Radvansky, and this time he's going to run the option down the line. He pitches it out to the fullback that time, Brandon Wood, who's hit and dropped in the backfield. A loss of almost 7 yards on the play will bring up 2nd and 17. 6:14 to go here in the opening quarter. Cartersville up early, 14-0. You're listening to WBHF and watching the high school football game of the week as that loss drops the Rebels back to the 28-yard line. Again, a loss of 7 on first down brings up 2nd and long.
Davin Winters in there quick to make the play along with Taylor Sharp.
4th play of the drive coming up for Haralson County. This time they'll come out 4 wide receivers. They'll run trips to the left side of the formation as Radvansky comes out of the shotgun, and this time he's going to drop back under play action, under some pressure, and here come the Canes as they bring him down. Devin Evans with the stick back at the 22-yard line. The sack will lose 5 more yards, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 22 with 5:28 to go here in the opening quarter. Cartersville leading it 14-0.
Scott, one of the bad things if you're Haralson County and running the 4 wides is the middle linebackers. You just mentioned Devin Evans doesn't have to worry about a tight end to cover out of the backfield, and right now they're keeping in Brandon Wood, the 1 running back, to pass protect. So what you're saying right there is we're gonna leave everybody in. You're giving these linebackers no kind of coverage responsibilities at all, and it leaves them free just to penetrate and put pressure on the quarterback, and that's exactly what Evans did that time.
Trips to the right side this time. Again, out of the shotgun comes Radvansky, and long snap count as he drops back under play action, rolls out to his right, has some time. Here come the Canes defensively, and now he has to throw it away, and a penalty flag's going to come out. It's going to be intentional grounding with 4:44 to go here in the opening quarter. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty and loss of down. So it'll bring up 4th and 27.
Really tough for Radvansky. You flood the zone with 3 guys to the right-hand side. You roll that way, and nobody there. He just needs to, he straightened up and threw it to the far sideline. If he'd have just thrown it out of bounds on the side where he was rolling, he'd have been all right. As it ends up, there was absolutely nobody on that side of the football field.
Well, I don't know what they're deciding here. The Canes are deciding whether to take the penalty. I can't figure out why. It's a loss of down. You definitely take the penalty.
Yeah, because it comes with loss of down as well. So, you really don't have, there is no downside to this. You take the penalty, you take the yardage, and then you take the loss of down, and it's time for them to punt.
Well, it moves the Rebels back to their own 11-yard line. So this drive, which started off with a first down, is now netted in a loss of 13 yards. And so the Rebels will bring it up to the line at the 11, and they will kick out of the end zone. Handling the responsibilities at punter tonight will be number 66. I think that's supposed to be Chase Croft. And he gets the ball underway, and it'll be fielded out at the 45-yard line. Terrell Johnson up the middle across the 40. He gets loose at the 30. 1 man to beat is the punter. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Hurricanes put another 6 on the board. This time, what do we say, a 46-yard return?
46 yards, Scott.
So the Canes in the end zone again. They now lead it 20-0 with 4:27 to play here in the opening quarter. And, well, they've just come out and hit Haralson in the mouth tonight, man.
Yeah, Scott, I mean, from what I've seen so far, it really does have the potential of getting ugly, and it is early on, and try not to say things like that. We got 4:27 left to go in the first quarter, but to this point, it's been all Hurricanes. It doesn't show any signs of changing.
Well, that makes it 20-0, and now Chad Rhodes connects on the extra point, and that makes it 21-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the weekend, listening to WBHF AM 1450.
Welcome back. 4:33, actually 4:27. They just advanced the clock while we're sitting there looking at it. 4:27 to go, first quarter. Cartersville leading this one handily already, 21-0. There's already been an interception, a punt return, and a great opening drive by the Hurricanes. And Scott, I was mentioning off the air, this reminds me a lot of a game that I did at Cartersville a couple years ago against Dade County, where they went on the road to Dade. It was a year that Dade really had very little, and honesty compels me to tell you it looks an awful lot like Haralson County doesn't have a whole lot going in their direction tonight either.
Well, Chad Rhodes will kick it from the 40 as the Rebels get back on defense. 4:27 to go here in quarter number one. Canes with a commanding 21-0 lead, and this time Chad Rhodes kicks it back toward the goal line, but there's a whistle on the field. See what
A couple of Hurricanes were offsides. A little bit of a quick start. That happened on the far side of the field. As I mentioned, our vantage point is high atop the stadium. We're actually higher than the stadium lights.
This is, I've said it 3 times already. This is a fantastic place to watch football,
It
especially up here in the box.
Certainly is. And, you know, once again, I haven't mentioned it. I've mentioned it every week so far, but another just excellent night for football. Sitting in short sleeves and every bit as comfortable as you'd want to be watching a high school football game.
So now Chad Rhodes will get to do it from the 35-yard line, so he'll kick from the college yardage. Do another one, see if he can kick it from the 30, see what he can do there.
See what the scouts say about that one.
Try the NFL kick. 4:27 to go here in the opening quarter. Canes leading at 21-0 as Chad Rhodes gets set to kick off for the 3rd time. He sends this one down the sidelines, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 14-yard line, and that's where, so that will be a penalty, and looks like.
And Scott, they're going to ask the Haralson County
to kick it again.
Sideline is going to ask him to kick it again.
So now he'll kick it from the 30.
There you go.
So Haralson can get the ball at the 35, or they can have Cartersville kick it again.
Now, given the way this football game has gone so far, and given the way that your special teams has looked on 2 kickoffs and a punt coverage, why on earth would you want to have them go ahead and kick this again as opposed to just taking the ball on the 35-yard line?
I know Haralson County, obviously they're not as talented as Cartersville, but they have played an unbelievable schedule so far. They've seen all the big guys in 6 AAA.
Sure.
This caps off a 4-game series where they've played LaGrange, Cedartown, and Carrollton. They've seen everybody, and now they're seeing Cartersville tonight. I had a conversation with head coach Scott Peavy this morning. We talked for about a half hour, and he said he really felt like Coach Barton and Cartersville are the best team in the region. After seeing everybody on film, he said it's amazing to me that a team that didn't make the playoffs last year is by far the best team in the region. He said that he thought Coach Barton, top to bottom, has done the best coaching job of any coach he's seen in the region, and he said possibly the state. He said because they have really just come out as a different team this year. So now with 4:27 to go in the first, we will kick it off for real, and Chad Rhodes with a little floating kick kicks it down to the 40. The ball is loose, and the Hurricanes fall on it, and we'll see if they give it to Cartersville.
Well, Scott, there's no flag down, so it's got to be theirs.
Well, how in the world? Now he's signaling for Haralson County. It looked like the Canes came up with the football, but
probably did not have possession of it. He probably touched the ball, and then the ball went out of bounds, so that way there wouldn't be a penalty for kicking the ball out of bounds. But if you don't have possession of it before it goes out of bounds, the ball automatically goes to the Rebels. I was on the near side behind a couple of players blocked our vantage point, so we certainly couldn't see the sideline. The referees are right down there on top of it, so we would suspect that their judgment would be better than ours.
Well, anyway, Haralson County will bring it up to the line. They'll kick from work from the 38-yard line with 4:27 to go here in the opening quarter. They'll come out 4 wides. David Radvansky out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. And this time, he gives it to the fullback up the middle. That's Brandon Wood. He gains maybe a yard on first down, brings up 2nd and 9. But more importantly, that clock continues to run. 4:15 to go here in the opening quarter. Cartersville up 21-0. 25 minutes into this game, Cartersville has absolutely blown it open. 21-0 lead. And Haralson County will bring it up to the line. They'll go 4 wide receivers. Again, out of the shotgun comes David Ravansky, the quarterback. One back in the backfield for protection is Brandon Wood, and now he's going to drop back under some pressure, throws across the middle of the field, has a receiver. It's caught across midfield into Cartersville territory at the 48-yard line. First down, and Haralson County moves the football. As they move the chains. Great looking play.
That was a sharp throw by Radvansky there. He hit Anders going across the middle.
So the Rebels make a substitution as number 7, Tyler Bright, checks into the game, replacing number 19, Adam Mansour. 3:33 to go here in the opening quarter. Cartersville leading it 21-0. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WBHF AM 1450. The Hurricanes had to make a substitution. They had an equipment problem with Brantley Ledbetter. Checking into the game is A.T. Barnes defensively, so Barnes will come in. Actually, that's not A.T. Barnes. That is number 18, Anthony Townsend, checking into the game. Townsend coming in as one of the defensive backs, and this time they'll drop back to pass, throwing for the flat. They got a receiver, and he'll be stuck back at the 43-yard line after a pickup of a couple on the play.
Ball caught by, Scott, we talked about it before the game, and we've mentioned it a couple times. These guys they've had a number of injuries, and as a result, guys have had to change numbers. We've mentioned a couple times, number 30 is not on their roster. We don't have a jersey number for him, but he made a nice catch, gain of 5 on first down, and Radvansky once again looking much better on the last 2 throws than he did the first one.
So again, they'll come out of the shotgun. A gain of 6 on first down brings up 2nd and 4. They'll work from the Cartersville 42-yard line with 2:35 to go, the clock moving, and now Radvansky's going to drop back under some pressure, throws it to the flat, and throws it out of bounds. And that'll stop the clock with 2:27 to go here in the first quarter.
Good decision by Radvansky to throw that ball out of bounds. He's got to get a little bit more help out of his wide receivers. As everybody was covered, the 2 wide receivers on the left-hand side of the formation just kind of stopped working, kind of looked back at him, almost like you're playing backyard football. You've got to run and try to create something so that he can, at least make the defensive side of the football work on it.
So Haralson County will bring it up to the line. They'll run 4 wide receivers. Again, out of the shotgun comes David Radvansky. 2:27 to go here in quarter number 1, and Radvansky drops back, throws for the flat, has a receiver. He's got the first down and a couple more across the 35 down to the 30-yard line. That'll move the chains as Matthew Pritchard, number 9, picks up the first down. Roman Gilliam drops him back at the 31-yard line, but not before he does move the chains for the second time this drive.
12-yard pickup. So now Radvansky, 3 of 5 for 31 yards.
So Haralson County trying to get themselves back into this game, working from the Hurricanes' 31-yard line. They'll work from the far hash mark, moving right to left on your radio dial and right to left on your TV screen. Radvansky coming out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers again. Wood again in the backfield, and this time they hand off to the fullback up the middle, who's loose across the 20 and down to the Cartersville 16-yard line. A gain of almost 15 yards on first down, moves the chains again.
Scott, I don't know when they changed jerseys, but this Haralson County team, instead of laying down, it almost doesn't look like the same guys that were out there for the first 2 possessions, as Radvansky's found himself in a little bit of a groove, and Brandon Wood finds some space to run, and the Rebels are moving the football. You mentioned the fact that this is a team that scored points against LaGrange, something that Carrollton was unable to do, as Radvansky brings them to the line.
Radvansky out of the shotgun, drops back, throws to the flat, and the ball is batted down by Davin Winters. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the Hurricanes. 17, actually from the 17-yard line, not the 16. 1:23 to go here in the first quarter. Canes leading it 21-0. If you're just joining us, Cartersville jumping on the board. They took the opening kickoff 80 yards in 3 minutes and 38 seconds in 10 plays as Antoine Sams capped it off with an 80-yard touchdown run. Then it only took them 2 plays on their second possession to move 43 yards. They only burned 55 seconds off the clock as Alan Barnes went in from 32 yards away. And then Terrell Johnson scored on a 46-yard punt return to make it 21-0. Now Radvansky coming out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, 1:23 to go here in the first quarter, and this time he hands it off to his fullback, who's going to be hit by a plethora of white jerseys right at the 20-yard line, a loss of 2 on the play, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 12 as the clock continues to run with 1:11 to go in the first.
Scott, a lot of teams have gotten down into this red zone against Cartersville and come away with no points. When teams have been able to move the football, it seems like this Cartersville defense gets awfully stingy when they start seeing that the opponents are smelling the end zone. Brings up a 3rd down and 13. Certain throwing situation, but we've seen on this drive that they're perfectly comfortable doing that.
Well, the Rebels will bring it up to the line again. 4 wide receivers. That seems to be the formation of choice as Radvansky comes out of the shotgun. Here come the Canes pressure, and he throws for the end zone. That ball in the air, and coming away with the interception is Brantley Ledbetter. And Cartersville will take over on their own 20 with 33.9 seconds to go.
after the interception. Cartersville will get the ball on their own 20-yard line. 33 seconds to go in the first quarter. Cartersville leading at 21-0. Matt Santini along with Scott Singer. As the Hurricanes looking to go 6-0 on the season, and we just come off a possession where Radvansky looked very sharp. A really nice interception to get the change of possession by Brandon. Was it Brantley Ledbetter that did that, or was that Brandon Houston? Hard to tell from our vantage point, either number 8 or number 9, but great over-the-shoulder catch, getting a foot down in bounds, and now Cartersville with their third offensive possession of the game.
So the Canes will come up. They'll run out of an eye as they pitch it out to Antoine Sams. He catches a block. He's across the 25 out near the 30. A gain of 9 yards on first down. He'll be very near the first down marker. I don't think he quite got to the 30. He looks like he's about a foot short. So the clock will continue to run with 18 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Alan Barnes will come from the sidelines with the play. If the Hurricanes can break the huddle in time, they'll run one before the quarter. If not, that may do it for the first quarter. Actually, looks like the Canes may have time to run it. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and they're just going to hold on and wait for the next quarter. And that'll do it for quarter number 1 with your score. Cartersville 21, Haralson County nothing. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WBHF AM 1450.
Second quarter of action getting ready to kick off here. Alan Barnes brings his team to the line. I'll tell you all about it here, Scott.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, Alan Barnes goes under center. This time he brings the tight end to the right side of the formation, and he hands it off to Antoine Sams up the middle, who gets across the 30 out to the 32-yard line. A gain of 3 on second down, and the Hurricanes move the chains. The sixth first down of the game for the Canes. Cartersville subbing Antoine Sams out of the game as he comes to the sidelines. The Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They'll bring 2 wide receivers to the left side of the formation, the tight end to the right side. Out of the eye come the Canes. Chris McClendon in to dot it, and this time they hand off right up the middle to McClendon, who's across the 35, the 40, pushes his way out to the 43-yard line. A gain of 11 yards on first down, and the Hurricanes, actually a gain of 10 yards, and the Hurricanes very near moving the sticks.
Radvansky was the one that made the tackle there. Always kind of leery when you got your quarterback playing on the defensive side of the football. If he's getting a hand, getting a hand or a shoulder banged around him while he's making a tackle on the defensive side, it could really affect what they're doing offensively. The run is close enough to the first down marker that they will measure. So we'll know in just a second if McClendon.
It looked like he got forward progress to the 43, but they marked him down at the 42-yard line. And he gets the first down. So the second first down of the drive, and with 11 minutes to go here in the first half, the Hurricanes are rolling right along. They're up at their own 42-yard line as Alan Barnes comes from the sidelines with the play.
Scott Cartersville already with 93 yards of offense on the ground.
They haven't had a whole lot of room haven't had a lot of real estate in front of them. This is only the second long drive they'll get this game. Canes bring it up to the line. Alan Barnes goes under center, and this time he drops back to pass under some pressure, throws it deep, has a receiver, and going up for it is A.T. Barnes, and what a catch down at the 30 or the 27-yard line of Haralson County. And Matt, that was awesome. A.T. Barnes came up between 2 defenders and just took the ball away. And I'm telling you, we talked about the 99 team earlier tonight. That was a play like Lavada Johnson used to make.
Excellent throw by Alan Barnes, and this is exactly what you expect that's why you have AT on the outside. He runs a post pattern right down the middle of the field, and Barnes throws it up high, and like you said, AT goes up and steals it from the defender, comes down with the ball. Gain of 31.
Hurricanes will work out of the eye. Tight end to the left side of the formation, and dropping back is Barnes under some pressure. Dodges one would-be tackler, looks for the corner, and now he's going to turn it upfield as he runs out of bounds. Barnes takes a little shot but gains a couple and avoids the sack. Great play offensively by the senior quarterback.
Scott, I say it every week, but every time every game, Alan Barnes does something, something that you don't expect. I mean, something you just say, how did he do that? This time he eludes a would-be tackler and is able to scamper to the outside. What I like is instead of running out of bounds, he lowers his head and gets that extra yard. I'm sure Coach Barton doesn't like that, but certainly a tough kid.
Well, Alan Barnes will go under center, a wide receiver to each side out of the eye, and this time they hand off right up the middle, and running the football this time for the Canes was looks like number 4, Chris Cochran, who gets inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. A gain of 15 yards on second down, and the Hurricanes will move the chains again, and now they're knocking on the door. It'll be 1st and goal. 6th play of the drive coming up for the Canes with 9:39 to go here in the first half, and the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Alan Barnes going under center. They'll work from the 10-yard line. Hurricanes will come out of the I. Chris McClendon in to dot it. Chris Cochran in at fullback for Cartersville, a wide receiver to each side, and this time they hand off to McClendon up the middle, and he walks into the end zone for the touchdown, and Cartersville on the board again. They now lead it 27-0 as Chad Rhodes will come on to attempt the extra point.
Scott, just a dominating performance by the guys up front for Cartersville, making huge holes. There's Chris McClendon with the touchdown run. His last 3 runs have each gone for 10 yards. You got Chris Cochran, who has 2 runs of over 10 yards. Alan Barnes has a run of 10+ yards, and so does Antoine Sam. So running at will are the Hurricanes.
Chad Rhodes, who's already a perfect 3 for 3 today, will line up for his 4th PAT with 9:16 to go. The snap is down, the kick is on the way, and it's good. He's a perfect 4 for 4, and the Canes lead it 28-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WVHF and watching the high school football game of the week.
The Hurricanes have amassed 132 yards of offense on the ground, 69 through the air. So already tonight, the Hurricanes with 201 yards of total offense. They've got 28 points on the board, and we still have 9:16 to go in the first half. Chad Rhodes is set to send it deep, so I'm going to send it over to Scott.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, the Hurricanes will kick off from their own 40, leading it 28-0 with just 9:16 to go here in the first half. Chad Rhodes puts it down on the 40, and well, expect another short floating kick. And again, that's what he does. It is just a coffin kick to the corner, and they'll fair catch it at the 26-yard line. Receiving the ball that time was Nick Sullivan, the sophomore, and so Haralson County takes over on their own 26. Their 3rd best field position of the night.
Scott, they showed a propensity to move the football last time. Of course, got squandered or squelched by the interception, but at least they were a little more competitive on that last possession. Radvansky kind of got into a groove. We'll see what they do here.
It's actually the 2nd best field position they had. They started from their own 38 on the last drive, from the 24 on their 2nd drive. So now they'll come up to the line working from the 26, 9:16 to go. And again, Radvansky comes out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. He drops back under some pressure, throws it across the middle, and the ball is incomplete. That time intended for number 16, Josh Anders. And with 9:08 to go here in the first half, the clock stops. Well, one thing, Haralson, with this offense, the clock doesn't really run. So if you are getting beat badly, you don't get the advantage of the clock running, because you're only using up a couple seconds on a play and then an incomplete pass. And then the one time they did on their last drive, they moved the ball nicely down the field, but then threw the interception in the end zone. Again, they'll come out 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side, and again, Radvansky coming out of the shotgun, no tight end, and this time he hands off to his fullback around the left end, who's got some real estate in front of him. He gets across the 37-yard line out to about the 38, and that's good enough for a first down. Brantley Ledbetter in on the tackle, and Haralson County moves the chains.
Boy, Brandon Wood, the fullback, has got good size, and he showed good speed right there. Got to wonder why they don't mix that in a little bit more. Just make everybody play a little bit more honest against the pass.
8:57 to go here in quarter number 2, and the clock stops as the play went out of bounds. So Haralson County up at the line, 4 wide receivers. Again, Radvansky coming out of the shotgun. One back in the backfield is Brandon Wood, and this time he drops back under play action, throws it across the middle of the field, has a receiver, and he's going to be dropped up at the 44-yard line, a gain of almost 6 yards on first down. Brings up 2nd and short with 8:44 to go here in quarter number 2, and that clock continues to run.
Terrell Johnson there to make the stop. Radvansky now 4 of 9 for 37 yards, has the 2 interceptions.
Cartersville returns home next Friday night to take on LaGrange, and a game that many say could determine the region champion. Haralson out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, and this time they're going to hand off to the fullback up the middle. He breaks the tackle, gets across the 45 out to the 46, maybe 47-yard line. A gain of a couple on second down brings up 3rd and short. And the clock continues to run as we go under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. 5th play of the drive coming up here for Haralson County.
Well, this brings up a dilemma. You have 3rd and 1, been coming 4 wide out of the shotgun all night long. What do you play on a short yardage situation when you have to get that 1 yard? Do you just totally abandon the run?
Well, Brandon Wood just checked out of the game, Matt. He's replaced by Jared Taylor. And, well, they're going to come out of the – I don't think they have another formation. It's 4 wides all the time. Radvansky coming out of the shotgun. And this time he drops on a quick throw to the flat, and it's incomplete, so that brings up 4th and 2.
Miscommunication right there as the wide receiver didn't turn around for Radvansky's pass. And what do you do on 4th and 1 in your own territory, down by 28 with 7:20 to go in the first half?
And unfortunately, Brandon Wood is still on the bench, and that's, I believe, he's the key to your offense because he's the one that gives you the option to run the football.
I don't see him getting any treatment over there, Scott, do you?
No, he's just standing on the sidelines. So he limped off the field, but as you said, I don't see him getting treated anywhere. Anyway, Haralson County out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, 4th down and 2. They throw for the flat. The ball is complete. He's got the first down. Now it's going to be ruled incomplete as it hit the ground. And, well, Haralson County turns it over on downs, and Cartersville takes over in pretty good field position. They'll work from the Haralson County 47-yard line, leading it 28-0.
7:19 to go. Cartersville takes over with a 28-point lead. Good starting field position. The throw on 4th down, not a bad one by Radvansky. Pritchard unable to hold on to it, so Cartersville gets the ball with great field position and a short field. They've had very little trouble moving the ball all night long, and now they look to do it again.
Canes will run out of the eye as Alan Barnes hands off right up the middle to Cochran. Cochran's across the 40. He's loose at the 30. Stays on his feet at the 25, and he'll be brought down at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 24 yards on first down, and the Hurricanes move the chains. The clock stops momentarily while they reset them with 7:06 to play here in the first half. Cartersville leading it 28-0. And now the Rebels will burn a timeout, so we'll take one as well with exactly 7 minutes to go in the game. Cartersville leading it 28-0. That's a game.
And welcome back to Tallapoosa. 7:06 to go in the first half. Cartersville with a 28-0 lead. Ball on the Haralson County 23. Taking it off in big chunks. A.T. Barnes under center, and here's Scott to tell you what happens next.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, A.T. goes under center. Tight end to the left side of the formation. He throws to the flat, and the ball is incomplete, intended for Antoine Sams down at the 16-yard line. That brings up 2nd and 10 from the Haralson 23.
Ball delivered a little bit low. It's got to be tough for A.T. to shuffle into a situation without warming up on the sidelines. You're so busy being the receiver. And then you're asked to come in and actually be on the throwing side of that. He's got 2 receptions for 57 yards. For 57 yards so far tonight.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line, out of the eye. Barnes drops back, throws across the middle of the field, and it's incomplete, intended for Roman Gilliam. He threw it just a little bit behind him, and the clock stops with 6:54 to go here in quarter number 2. Canes leading it 28-0. If you're just joining us, it has been all purple and gold tonight. They have come out and just basically taken Haralson County out behind the woodshed, and they whipped them pretty good in the first half here. And Cartersville has now put Alan Barnes on the bench. He's I hope we don't see him again, and I hope he just gets rested up and ready to go for LaGrange as they hand off to Chris McClendon around the left end. McClendon breaking a tackle and diving across the 20 down to the 19-yard line, a gain of about 3, and it's going to bring up 4th and 7, and the Hurricane kick team coming onto the field. For Chad Rhodes, this will be a 37-yard attempt, his 2nd longest of the season if it goes. He'll be kicking from the left hash mark with 6:28 to go here in quarter number 2.
Scott, this is the hash you want to kick from, because as you approach the ball, you have a good angle at the good view of the goalpost.
And the snap is down, the kick is on the way, and no good, just short. Couldn't quite make it through, and so Haralson County will take over on their own 20 with 6:05 to go here in quarter number 2, with Cartersville leading it 28-0.
Need a code word or something.
And welcome back, 6:05 to go here in quarter number 2. Haralson County down 28-0, and they get the football as David Radvansky out of the shotgun, and this time he's gonna give it off to his fullback, who's hit and dropped for a loss of a couple on the play, bringing up 2nd and long with 5:55 to go here in the second quarter. Again, Cartersville leading it 28-0 if you're just joining us. The Hurricanes took the opening kickoff 80 yards, 10 plays, spanning 3 minutes and 38 seconds as Antoine Sams ran it in from 18 yards out. That made it 7-0. Alan Barnes then scored on a 32-yard touchdown. 2 plays into a 43-yard drive, and then Terrell Johnson ran back a punt for 46 yards, and Chris McClendon busted one up the middle for 10, and that made it 28-0. Haralson County with the football. David Radvansky will come out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Again, Brandon Wood in the game at fullback. Long snap, County drops back, throws for the flat, and the ball is incomplete. Breaking on the ball that time was Brantley Ledbetter. The ball intended for number 16, Josh Anders. And that brings up 3rd and long.
As you mentioned, Brandon Wood back in the ball game, so thought he was just briefly shaken up. If you're Haralson County, you sure would like to have had him in the game when you had 3rd and 1 and then 4th and 1. He's been touch and go all night long. He's got runs of 15 and 12, but he's also got a loss of 6 and a loss of 3. He's got 7 carries for a net of 23 yards.
So Cartersville will bring it up to the line, and now we've got an official, or Haralson will bring it up to the line, with now we have an official timeout. Davin Winters looked like he had an equipment problem. Didn't have his bonnet buckled. 5:11 to go here in the second quarter. Canes up 28-0, and Radvansky will come out of the shotgun. 1 back in the backfield, he drops back to pass, throws it up over the top, and the ball is going to be intercepted by Terrell Johnson up at the 37-yard line, and that's where the Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10. 3rd interception of the game for David Radvansky, and Haralson County turns it over.
Have a night, Terrell Johnson. Now he has 2 interceptions and a 46-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Best field position of the night for Cartersville now as they'll work from the Rebel 38-yard line. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Canes up 28-0. Alan Barnes on the bench, A.T. Barnes getting a little time under center as he'll bring him up to the line out of the eye. James Maxwell in at wide receiver. He's split wide to the right side of the formation. Roman Gilliam split to the left, and this time they give it off to Chris Cochran around the right end. He gains a couple on 1st down. That's going to bring up 2nd and 8, but there is a penalty flag on the field. Right along the line in the realm of holding. We'll see what the call is. And it is. It'll be 10 yards against the Canes. That'll back them up a little bit. 4:48 to go here in quarter number 2 as that moves them back 10. Out to the 48-yard line, and now Cartersville will have a little more real estate in front of them. Tell you what, Matt, the offensive line really looking good.
Yes, they are.
Mike Fair and Ian Smith are on that left side of the line right now, and
He replaced a number of starters, but these guys had a lot of game experience, and they're a seasoned line. You can tell they work very well as a unit.
Left side looking big. The right side, of course, with Robbie Livesey and Jeffrey Burnett also doing a great job. Canes drop back. Alan Barnes throws across the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Ball intended that time. Looked like for Roman Gilliam, and it'll go incomplete, bringing up 2nd and long.
That throw was where it needed to be. Good throw by Barnes.
Barnes comes to the sidelines, gets the play from head coach Frank Barton, and with 4:16 to play here in the first half, Barnes will come back in the huddle. Cartersville will bring it up to the line. Now they'll run 4 wide receivers, and out of the shotgun comes Alan Barnes. One back in the backfield is Chris McClendon. He's in there for protection. Barnes running for his life, and now is going to throw it to the flat. Has a receiver in Antoine Sams. Sams turns it up at the 40, stays on his feet at the 35, and is brought down right there. A pickup of almost 13 yards on second down, brings up 3rd and 7 for the Canes, and they get it all back as, boy, Haralson County brought everybody, and Alan Barnes got rid of the football.
Had guys hanging all over him well beyond the line of scrimmage, able to get rid of it as he was brought to the turf. Fortunately, Antoine Sams had seen that and worked his way back to the football, able to make the catch and get good positive yardage. His gain of 13, as you mentioned, brings up a very manageable 3rd and 8.
4 wide receivers again for the Canes. 3:33 to go here in the first half, and Barnes throws it across the middle of the field to A.T. Barnes at the 20, stays on his feet down to the 15, and the Hurricanes will move the chains. That time a pickup of 21, and the Canes again move the sticks. They're down to the Haralson 15-yard line. I tell you, when Alan Barnes is in at quarterback, Matt, boy, that offense is clicking.
Well, and I think that's why Coach Barden brought him back in. He saw the offense kind of stuttering. You know, when you're in a game like this, you still want to look sharp from start to finish, and it seemed like the offense may have been sputtering a little bit, so he brings Allen back in to really get everybody clicking again. He is now 6 of 9 for 103 yards, Scott.
4 wide receivers as Barnes will go back under center. 3:04 to play here in the first half. Canes will bring it up to the line. 1 back in the backfield. Barnes will come under center this time as he forgoes the shotgun, and this time they hand off to McClendon on the draw play. He's at the 10, the 5, turns the corner, and he's into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the night, and the Hurricanes now lead it 34-0.
Scott, it's going to come back, though. Flag on the ground. Great blocking downfield. Quite honestly, I think they're going to call an illegal block in the back, but it's certainly, they're going to call a hold, but it looked like great blocking downfield by both of the wide receivers.
Well, the spot of the foul is down at the 3-yard line, so it's going to move them back to the 13. And they'll replay first down, so it's a gain of 2 on the play. Actually, I guess you're going to say the spot of the foul was the 4-yard line, so a gain of 1 on the play. So it brings up 1st and 9. Not a dreadful penalty. 2:48 to go here in the first half. Canes will bring it up to the line again. They will work out of a 4 wide receiver set as they spread it out. No tight end. Barnes goes under center. 1 back in the backfield is McClendon, and they pitch it to him around the left end. McClendon looking for the corner, and he's going to be stopped and brought down back at the 18-yard line. A loss of about 4 on the play brings up 2nd and long. So Cartersville will set it back up offensively as they come back into the huddle.
Scott, hard to believe here we are with 2:27 to go in the half. That is the first tackle for a loss that Haralson County has had all night.
2nd and 13 from the 18-yard line.
And Alan Barnes brings it up under center.
They have given up 9 runs of 10 yards or more.
Trips to the right side of the formation for the Canes as Barnes will come under center. 2:08 to go here in quarter number 2 as Barnes drops back, has some time, now throws it for the flat, has Antoine Sams up at the 12, and it's in and out of his hands, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Tough throw. You got to throw it from the left hash all the way to the right sideline. That ball's in the air a long time. A ball that probably should have been caught, but it gave the defender enough time. Even had Sams caught the ball, he would have had very little room to make anything happen.
So Alan Barnes again comes from the sidelines with the play. He'll bring it up to the line. Barnes again will go 4 wide. Out of the shotgun, and this time he drops back, looks to the backside, now under some pressure, and he's going to run the football, and he's going to be dropped back at the 28-yard line. As he takes the sack, it'll be a loss of almost 10 on the play. And now the Canes face 4th down, and, well, they're going to have to go for it, Matt, because this may be just out of the range of Chad Rhodes.
That'd be a 45-yarder.
He kicked a 42-yarder that just got over the uprights at Stevens County, and I think maybe with the high altitude here at Haralson County.
I don't think the field's that high. I think it's the press box that's that high, Scott.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. 4 wide receivers as Barnes will come out of the shotgun. He'll have to look downfield and throw one deep. Under some pressure, he's going to roll out. He throws it deep. He's got a receiver coming back to the football and caught right at the sticks. And we'll see if he gets it. It's going to be very close. They're going to have to measure this one. Coming away with the catch was Roman Gilliam. If he didn't get it, Haralson will be backed up deep, but they're going to have to measure this one. And I think he's going to be maybe a foot short of that one, Matt. He
looks short to me.
Yeah. And they're going to go ahead and award the ball to Haralson County. So
19-yard gain on 4th down. They needed 20. Actually, they needed about 19 and a half.
So he was just about a half a yard short, and Haralson County takes over in their worst field position of the night, down on the 5. So great play offensively, and you like to see that. Anything you do this week, of course, is just sort of a clinic for next week to get ready for what will be the biggest game of the Hurricanes season thus far.
Scott, what do you do if you're Haralson? Do you try to go the length of the field in 55 seconds, or you just feel content going into the halftime knowing you get the ball to start it off?
I would take a knee, but it looks like they're going to run the ball up the middle, and the fullback takes it across the 5 out to the 8-yard line. Clock continues to run, 47 seconds to go here in quarter number 2.
Now, if you're Cartersville, do you burn a timeout and make them do something since they're pinned that far back? You've already had a punt return for a touchdown.
You have a chance to go for the jugular here, but I think Coach Barton kind of knows the outcome of tonight's game, and there's no sense in running up the score. I mean, Cartersville could sit here and burn timeouts and get the ball back, but Haralson hasn't really shown any signs of offensive life here. And with 15 seconds to go here in the first half, this should be the last play. And they're just going to run it right up the middle. The quarterback gets the first down and more out near the 20-yard line. And the clock will stop while they reset the chains. And with 5 seconds to go here in the first half, the clock stops momentarily. The Rebel Band is making their way to the far sideline. The Hurricane Band, I guess, will perform first.
Scott, why don't we leave it here? The Rebels, believe it or not, have called a timeout. Want to get in one last play with 5.2 to go in the first half. Coming up at halftime for the radio folks, of course, we'll have Melody Daring in studio with all the latest scores from games around the county. Of course, Adairsville playing Calhoun tonight, as well as a number of other games. Cass on the road playing Villa Rica. Woodland off this week, but she'll have the scores at halftime for you. And got a little surprised that they would go ahead and burn this time out. They were content to run the football, and I guess now that they've got a little space between them and the end zone, they're going to try to throw one up and see if they can catch lightning in a bottle.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Just when you're trying to, Cartersville's kind of giving them a break and letting them just run out the clock. They call the timeout. 5 seconds remaining here in quarter number 2. Cartersville with a comfortable 28-0 lead, and it has been all purple and gold tonight from the get-go. 19-yard line. Haralson County has 81 yards in front of them. They got one play. Unless the ball's batted at the line, it'll be one play. Radvansky coming out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Again, 5 seconds to go. Cartersville back in a nickel package. They throw it to the flat. The ball is incomplete. And the clock stops with 1.4 seconds to go. So now they'll have one more shot. One more shot for what? I'm not sure. 1.4 seconds to go here in the first half. 28-0 your score. Cartersville on top of this one. Checking into the game for Haralson County is Brett Dennis. He replaces number 30, who's one of the New Jersey guys.
He's from New Jersey?
New clothing guys.
You're playing Skip Carey on me. Knew where he was from.
David Rosansky drops back, and now he's going to throw it, and ball is tipped and incomplete. And that'll do it for the first half. Cartersville leading it 28-0. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with the halftime show. And after that, we'll break it all down from Haralson County High School. You're listening to WBHF and watching the high school football game of the week. At the break, it's Cartersville 28. Actually, we'll leave you right here for a second because our own Spence McCoy will have Cartersville head coach Frank Barden in just a second here. And as I said, Matt, 28-0 your score here at the half. Cartersville taking care of business here in the first half. We'll recap the scoring quickly while they get him set. Cartersville opened up the game marching 80 yards in 10 plays with covering a span of 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Antoine Sams went in from 18 yards away to make it 7-0. Then Allen Barnes scored on a 32-yard touchdown to make it 14-0. Terrell Johnson brought back a punt, 46 yards for the touchdown, and then on the punt return, that made it 21-0, and then Chris McClendon broke it for 10 yards to make it 28-0. And now Spence has head coach Frank Barden. Spence, what do you have for us?
Okay, Coach Barden, you're ahead 28-0 going into halftime. What do you tell your guys in the locker room to make sure that they maintain going into the second half?
Well, we just want to make sure we keep executing, and defensively we're doing a good job flying around the ball, just like on the last 2 plays of the half right there. Still hitting hard, and that's the main thing. Just keep our intensity up and make sure we execute.
Okay, Coach, on offense, what do you feel like you've done well?
Well, I mean, we've done a lot of good things well. Allen's made some good decisions. We've ran and got ball well. We've thrown the ball well. And, now we're going to look and try to get probably AT some time at quarterback and look at some different people.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Good second half. Back to you, Matt and Scott.
Thanks a lot, Spence. And there you have it from Cartersville head coach Frank Barden. We'll take a quick break. We'll have the halftime show, and then we'll break down the stats from this one. Again, you're watching the high school football game of the weekend, listening to WBHF AM 1450.
know what it means to miss New Orleans. And finally, join the band down on Bourbon Street. Come on, sing along with us in the ode to that sweet little Liza Jane.
Haralson County will get the football back, down 28-0, looking to make something positive happen. And Scott, tell everybody who's just now joining us how it got to be 28-0.
Well, Matt, Antoine Sams took it in from 18 yards out in the first quarter with 8:22 to go as the Hurricanes went 80 yards in 10 plays, spanning 3 minutes and 38 seconds. That made it 7-0. Also in the first quarter with 7:35 to play, Alan Barnes took a quarterback keeper, went in 32 yards for the score, capping off a 43-yard drive, eating just 55 seconds off the clock, and the Hurricanes went up 14-0. Then Terrell Johnson scored on a 46-yard touchdown from a punt return. That made it 21-0 with 4:27 to go in the opening quarter. And with the Canes up by 3 touchdowns, Chris McClendon tucked one up, went in for 10 yards away. And the Canes went up 28-0 with 9:16 to go in the first half. The Canes had a later touchdown called back by McClendon on a holding call, and they had to come away with nothing in that drive. But they do lead it 28-0, and they will kick it off to Haralson County here to kick off the second half as we take a look at some of the first half numbers.
That's right, Scott. Statistically, exactly what you would expect. Very heavily dominated by the Hurricanes. First for Haralson County, very quickly, David Ravansky is 4 of 15 for 37 yards. He has thrown he's thrown 3 interceptions on the ground. Ravansky has 14 yards on 4 carries. Brandon Wood, 27 yards on 8 carries. Total of 41 on the ground, 37 through the air, only 78 yards of offense for Haralson in the first half. We'll get to the Cartersville statistics after the kickoff to start the second half.
All right, Matt. Well, Chad Rhodes will line it up on the 40-yard line for his 5th kickoff of the game. He is elected to go with the pooch-style kick that lands down near the 30, 25, somewhere in that area. And he will do that again. As he kicks a short floating kick, it'll be fair caught at the 30-yard line, and that's where Haralson County will take over. 1st and 10 coming back the other way.
All right, Scott, for Cartersville, statistically in the first half, Alan Barnes, 7 of 11 for 122 yards. 78 of those to A.T. Barnes, 24 to Roman Gilliam, and 20 of them to Antoine Sams. He did not throw for a touchdown. However, he did run for a touchdown. Allen has 3 carries, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Antoine Sams, 3 carries, 29 yards. Chris McClendon, 9 carries, 53 yards. Chris Cochran, 4 carries, 52 yards.
Well, the Rebels will come out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Brandon Wood in the backfield for protection. And this time they drop back to pass. They throw it over the top, and it is incomplete. Daniel Payne got a hand on it as Cartersville's defensive line spreading the field quickly. And with 11:50 to go here in the 3rd quarter, the clock stops momentarily.
Scott, totals. Let me give you the totals. As I mentioned, through the air, 122 yards for Cartersville. On the ground, 159 yards. Total of 281 yards of total offense just in the first half for the Hurricanes. That doesn't even include the Terrell Johnson 46-yard punt return.
Well, Haralson County will bring it up to the line. They'll go 4 wide receivers. Surprise, surprise, as Radvansky goes under center. 1 back in the backfield is Brandon Wood. And this time he comes out of the shotgun, drops back, throws for the flat, has a receiver, but he's going to be dropped up at the 33-yard line, a gain of maybe 2 on 2nd down. Brings up 3rd and long, and the clock continues to run. 11:35 to play here in quarter number 3. Canes leading at 28-0 if you're just joining us. Cartersville with 3 first quarter touchdowns, and they added 1 in the second, and had 1 actually called back for a holding call. And they lead at 28-0 coming out of the break.
Matthew Pritchard made the catch. They've got a pretty good little combination. Radvansky is just a sophomore. Pritchard is just a freshman. They're looking to build here. It's a long tradition of not winning. Trying to turn that around.
Well, they'll come out of the shotgun as Radvansky drops back, throws to the flat, has a receiver. He's got the 1st down and more across the 40, the 45, breaks outside and is going to get up near the 46-yard line before he's hit by a plethora of white jerseys. That ball just threading through the needle. And with 10:50 to go here in the 3rd, the clock stops while they reset the chains. And Haralson County moves the sticks. It'll be 1st down for the Rebels. Checking out of the game is number 25, James Marine.
He's the one that made that catch.
He comes to the sidelines for a blow, and, well, the Rebels will bring it up to the line. Out of the shotgun goes David Radvansky. 4 wide receiver set. And Radvansky with the football. This time, hands off to his full, actually drops back on the fake, throws across the middle of the field. It's incomplete. That time, he intended for number 9, Matthew Pritchard, the freshman, and it goes incomplete. Stopping the clock with 10:20 to go here in the 3rd. And the Rebels will now face a 2nd and long. And checking back into the game is number 25, James Marine. He replaces number 15, Tim Keaton. Rebels work from their own 47-yard line as they'll bring it up to the line. Again, 4 wide receivers. Out of the shotgun goes David Radvansky. 1 back in the backfield is Brandon Wood. Takes the snap, drops back under some pressure, throws to the flat, and the ball is incomplete. Underthrown that time to Marine, and the intended receiver out near the original line of scrimmage, and the clock stops with 10:15 to go here in the 3rd. If you're wondering why this game has been kind of long, it's because, well, the clock stops all the time. Checking out of the game is Brandon Wood. So the Rebel threat to run is coming to the sidelines.
Well, I think the issue, Scott, I think the issue is blocking protection for his quarterback. He's getting a pretty good tongue lashing by one of the staff of Haralson County.
Well, checking into the game for him was Adam Mansour. So they will come out now. Again, 4 wide receivers. Radvansky drops back, Throws it across the middle of the field and almost picked off that time by Devin Evans. Devin saw 6 the other way, and it floated in and out of his hands, so the clock stops with 10:08 to go here in the third, and that'll be 4th down, so it's 4th and 10 for the Rebels, and I don't see the punt team coming on. Unless the punter's on the field. Now they come. So number 30 jogs onto the field. I think he's the long snapper. Again, number 30 not on the roster tonight.
I certainly hope Cartersville decides to run the football a little bit, Scott, to get some time off this clock. It's, like you said, it kind of reminds you of it just takes an awful long time. And before they kick, Haralson County will call their first time out of the second half. We'll take a timeout as well. 10:08 to go in the third. Cartersville continues to lead it 28-0. Welcome back to Tallapoosa, Georgia, on the campus of Haralson County High School. Haralson coming out of their timeout will now send it back to the Hurricanes. Terrell Johnson along with Roman Gilliam back to return it. I'll tell you what happens next. Once again, here's Scott.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Well, setting up to kick this one away. They get the snap and now deliver the kick. It is a high floating kick, and it'll be fair caught up at the 24-yard line by Terrell Johnson. And Cartersville will take over right there with 9:57 to go here in the third. They lead this game 28-0.
A.T. Barnes will come from the sidelines to lead the Hurricanes here in the third quarter. As you heard Frank Barden allude to, going to let A.T. get some time under center. He's currently 0 for 2 through the air. He has had 3 receptions for 78 yards. We'll now see what he does under center.
Well, Cartersville will bring it up to the line. A.T. Barnes running out of the wing tee this time, and he's going to hand off to Antoine Sams around the left end. Sams across the 25, the 30, and near the first down sticks. A gain of almost 10 yards on first down. Brings up second and short. We'll see if they even have to measure that one. 9:40 to go here in the third quarter. Clock continues to run. Checking into the game defensively is Nick Sullivan for Haralson County. He replaces number 84, Corey Baskin. Haralson County will be making the jump to Quad A next year. They'll play in that South Georgia region with Sandy Creek. Region 4, I believe it is. And this time, Cartersville running it up the middle to the fullback, and we'll see if he got the first down. He's right at the stick. They needed about 6 inches. I don't know if he got it. I think he might have actually lost a yard on the play, and it's going to bring up third and short.
Third down and 2 from the 33.
So just under 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Cartersville leading it 28-0.
Scott, I think this would put Haralson County probably the northernmost team in the southern region of the state.
Exactly. Cartersville with the football out of the wing tee, and this time A.T. Barnes runs it himself right up the middle as he pushes his way toward the 38-yard line. A gain of almost 5 on third down. They needed about 1.5 yards. They got about 5. They'll move the sticks. So Cartersville has run 3 plays here in the second half, and they have their first down of the third quarter.
More importantly, the clock runs. Matter of fact,
stopped right now while they reset the chains.
Actually, it should be, but it isn't. They have to slip the clock operator a 20 when it went out. You mind if I borrow $20?
First down for the Kings. They run out of the wing tee. This time they give it to Chris McClendon around the right end. He's hit and dropped in the backfield. A loss of 1 on the play is going to bring up second and long. But Matt, that clock continues to run as we get near the 8-minute mark.
Kind of odd. Here it is. During the first half, Haralson only had 1 tackle for a loss. Actually, 2 tackles for a loss in all the first half. They had the sack on Barnes. McClendon had a loss of 3, and now on the first drive, they've had 2 tackles for a loss. So something for them to build on here in the first drive of the second half. Cartersville continues with a 2nd down and 10.
A.T. Barnes brings him up to the line. Again out of the wing tee. The wide receiver wide to the left side of the formation. Tight end to the right side. And this time he drops back, keeping himself up the middle on the quarterback option. He's across midfield down to the 45-yard line of Haralson County. A gain of 16 on 2nd down. And then just like that, the Hurricanes will move the chains. The clock stops with 7:21 to go here in the third. And Cartersville leading it 28-0 has put together their second first down here of the third quarter, and they're marching into Haralson County territory, led by backup quarterback A.T. Barnes.
Scott, the thing that's amazing about him, like I said, that was a gain of 16 yards, and he did it very quickly. Just gets down the field so fast. Big, long strides.
A.T. goes under center. This time he's going to send Antoine in motion, and he hands off to Cochran up the middle, who pushes his way toward the 42-yard line, a gain of almost 3 on first down. Brings up 2nd and 7 from the Rebel 42. Just inside the 43, almost to the 42-yard line. A gain of 2.5 or 3 on the play.
I heard me tell you on the way down here that Chris Cochran would be the leading rusher tonight. What would you have told me? He's got 6 carries for 54 yards. McClendon has 52 yards on 10 carries.
Well, Anthony Townsend now checks into the game offensively, so Townsend looks pretty good in the uniform too. He'll be split out wide to the right side of the formation as the lone wide receiver, and this time they're going to hand off to Antoine Sams around the right end. He gets loose. Oh, he reverses his field, catches a block from AT, turns it up at the 40, stays on his feet at the 35, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 33-yard line of Haralson County. And what a run by Antoine Sams, Matt.
He ran for about 80 yards. He ends up gaining about, looks like he gained 9 on the play. But great creativity by Antoine. And I guess, when you have that kind of speed, you can reverse your field. As he made his way towards the near side and then saw that all bottled up and then just outraced everybody to the far side. As you said, good lead blocking by A.T. Barnes. Another 9-yard gain for Antoine. And he now has 47 yards on 5 carries.
Well, the Hurricanes will come up to the line. 1st and 10. They'll work from the Haralson 33-yard line. AT goes under center. He hands it off to Chris McClendon around the right end. He's across the 25 down near the 20. And he'll have a gain of a little over 14 yards on first down, and the Hurricanes will move the chains again.
On the Rebel 20-yard line.
Cartersville moving the football deep into Haralson County territory. They're down at the Rebel 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Canes. 5:24 to go here in the third quarter. Cartersville up 28-0 as the Canes bring it up to the line. A.T. Barnes will go under center. Wing T formation. Anthony Townsend split out wide to the right side of the formation. Looks a lot like A.T. And now we're going to send it back in motion, and penalty flags all over the place.
Got 2 guys in motion there. It takes a little while to get used to a different quarterback's cadence. Hadn't seen it to this point, but you start sending guys in motion. Had somebody move while McClendon was in motion. Somebody else moved, and well, this ain't Canada. You can't do that. It's not arena football.
What a weird game Canadian football is. When, the city of Baltimore had a team, the Baltimore Stallions. They used to catch a couple games. One of my friends was in the front office. The other one was the back end of the Stallion mascot. Guess they liked one more than the other because the other one got the other one the job. So it'll be 1st and 15 as they move it back to the 25-yard line.
I knew you were one, but I didn't know that you associated with them as well.
5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 28-0 your score. The Canes will work from the 25-yard line. Trying to move in here into Haralson County territory. A.T. Barnes goes under center. Canes with a 28-0 lead. They'll work out of the wing T, and this time they hand it off to Chris McClendon around the left end. He turns it up and is going to actually get dropped for a loss until he couldn't get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Really loading up the line right now, as well they should. Haralson County is really trying to shut down that run. It's been feast or famine for them. The previous run, McClendon gets 14 yards. Now he gets tackled for a loss of 1.
4.5 minutes to play here, third quarter. A.T. Barnes comes from the sidelines with the play.
I'm trying to remember if A.T. has thrown for a touchdown pass here. I know he's caught a couple, and he may have even run one in. Don't know if he has thrown for one yet. That'd be a
easily answered. Hold on.
Highlight that he may be able to accomplish tonight.
Well, they hand off up the middle to Chris is that McClendon? Yes. Chris Cochran on the ball carry. Down to the 21-yard line. He gets about 5 on second down. Brings up 3rd and long for the Canes.
I'll tell you what, Cochran has given a big boost to this team. Hadn't even carried the ball coming into tonight.
A.T. has not thrown for a touchdown, Matt. In fact, he is 1 of 5 passing on the season for 13 yards, no touchdowns.
But you know what Cochran's able to do right here, Scott, is he's taking a little bit of a pounding, running the football, giving them great minutes and great carries and keeping everybody else fresh going into next week.
3:25 to go here in the third quarter, and this time they run crisscross underneath to Antoine Sams, who gets loose at the 10, the 5, and walks into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Hurricanes put another 6 on the board. A 22-yard carry by Antoine Sams into the end zone for the touchdown, and Cartersville puts another 6 spot on the board. What a run.
The exchange up the middle when they run the underneath handoff wasn't exactly the way you draw it up. It's a little bit rough, but once Antoine got the ball, a good hole there, and he shot right through it, and nobody was going to get him. 21 yards on the touchdown scamper. Cartersville now up 34-0, pending the Rhodes PAT.
Chad Rhodes will line up for the extra point. 3:14 to play here. Quarter number 3, the snap is down, the ball is on the way, and it's good. He's 5 for 5 tonight, and the Canes now lead it 35-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the weekend, listening to WBHF AM 1450.
3:14 to go in the third quarter. Cartersville now leads at 35-0. Great night if you're a Hurricane fan. Not so good if you're rooting for the Rebels. Cartersville now treating this kind of as a tune-up and get ready time for the LaGrange Rangers game that you can hear right here on AM 1450 WBHF, home of Cartersville high school football for 50-plus years. And as Rhodes sets it on the tee, I'll set it back over to my broadcast partner.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, Chad Rhodes puts it down and kicks off for the 6th time tonight. Ball lands just inside the 20-yard line, and it's taken back the other way. He's at the 25, breaks a tackle, and runs into his own man, and will be wrestled down at the 27-yard line. And that's where Haralson County will take over 1st and 10. Cartersville with their first touchdown here in the second half, a 23-yard burst by Antoine Sams right up the middle, and that gave Cartersville a 35-0 advantage as we're just over 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
You're going to insist on that being 23. I've got to change my stat sheet.
What do you think it was?
I had 21.
All right.
But we'll call it 23.
All right. Haralson County brings it up to the line. They'll bunch up 3 wide receivers to the left side of the formation. And this time they'll drop back and hand off to the fullback up the middle, and Brandon Wood is across the 30 out to the 32-yard line. A gain of almost 4 yards on first down, brings up 2nd and 6 with 2:46 to play here in the third quarter, and the clock continues to run.
Brandon Wood only a sophomore as well. We mentioned Radvansky, a sophomore. Their leading receiver, Pritchard, is just a freshman. You know, I kind of did take a little bit of exception to the Haralson County coach really chewing on Wood the last time that they were on the field. The guy's only a sophomore. There's one thing about coaching, but this guy's acting like a workhorse. 9 carries, 31 yards. And you're over there ripping him. I think there's plenty of blame to go around everybody.
4 wide receivers, and this time Radvansky will drop back. He throws to the flat to Wood, who's got it across the 30 out to the 34-yard line. A gain of 2, maybe 3 on second down, brings up 3rd and short with 2:08 to play here in the third quarter, and a big play coming up right here for Haralson County.
Very well defensed by Devin Evans. I'll tell you what, his speed from sideline to sideline is truly an asset for this team. This time he does have to cover Brandon Wood, something he hadn't had to do all night. And Wood caught that ball out in the flat. Devin was right there to bring him down, only a gain of 2.
Well, the Cartersville defense lightning fast. They almost play with really 7 linebackers up front. They don't really have defensive linemen per se. Everyone's got so much speed up front. They're just so quick on the ball. 4 wide receivers again this time. Radvansky coming out of the shotgun. He drops back, throws to the flat, and that ball tipped and almost picked off. Coming on to make the initial hit was Brandon Houston. He tipped it up, and then coming underneath it was James Maxwell, but he just couldn't make the catch, and that's going to bring up 4th down. And
Scott, they've run that pattern, that pass play so many times I've been waiting. It's kind of a dangerous throw, going long out to the flat. Once these DBs get a read on where and when that ball is coming, well, that's exactly what you can expect to happen. Brandon Houston just a step slow to get that one and take it back to the house.
Well, number 19, Adam Mansour is going to check into the game. He replaces number 7, Tyler Bright. He brings the play into the huddle as well. With 1:24 to go here in the third quarter, it'll be 4th and 4 as Haralson County brings it up to the line. 4th and a long 3. They're going to go for it. No punt team anywhere in sight. They'll run trips to the left side of the formation. Brandon Houston now shows blitz. Hurricanes will bring another linebacker over to cover the flat. They drop back, they throw it to the opposite field. That ball in the air, and it's going to be incomplete. And the Hurricanes are going to take over on downs. An excellent field position. They'll work from the Haralson County 35 with 1:12 to go here in the third. It's Cartersville 35, the Rebels nothing.
A.T. Barnes will come in for his, actually no, looks like we're going to have another quarterback coming in. This time it's going to be
Lyle Allen coming in off the sidelines. Lyle Allen didn't get a lot of playing time because he missed camp, so he couldn't really play in the first couple games as just kind of a team role, but is really the future of the program. Will probably be the starter down the road as they hand it off around the right end. And running the ball that time is number 6, Edwin Jackaway, who gets across the 35 down to the 34, a gain of 1 on first down. Brings up 2nd and 9, and the clock goes under a minute here in the third quarter. And I like this, giving the younger guys a chance to play.
Sure, now across the front, you're seeing some of these younger guys. Justin Morris, Harrison Sharp. Of course, we'll do our best to get everybody mentioned in there. Looks like Trent Dittmer is now in there. 53 is not on the roster, but 63 is Justin Morris.
Hurricanes will come up to the line. Lyle Allen hands off up the middle to Chris Cochran, who's across the 25 and pushes his way down near the 22-yard line. That's good enough for a Hurricane first down. And they'll move the chains as the clock stops momentarily with 19 seconds to play in the third quarter. Again, Canes up 35-0. Lyle Allen getting the call from the sidelines, getting ready to check in for the Canes is Benji Farr. So he may get a snap or two. Farr doing a great job earlier in the season as a backup quarterback.
Not this quarter they won't, as the clock will run out in the third quarter. At the end of 3, your score, Cartersville 35, Haralson County nothing. We'll be back right after this. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter of play. Cartersville continuing to dominate here. Now that the backups are in the game, that trend has continued. 35-0 the score. Cartersville with the football in Haralson County territory. Seems like most of this game has been played in Haralson, on the Haralson County side of the football field. The big question now is who's going to come in and play quarterback. Lyle Allen has taken a few snaps. Saw Benji Farr preparing to come on the field.
And we have a final from the north part of the county, and Daresville has dropped a tough one to Calhoun. 12-7 the final.
Certainly, yes. You know, a little bit of a setback. Hate to lose it on your home turf, but it just probably tight coming down the stretch. You know, the game against Darlington with Calhoun was really tight. Now, Calhoun, when Daresville and Darlington play later on in the season, that's going to mean an awful lot. So you can try to have a three-way lockup there.
And if you go into the playoffs as a 3 seed, of course, you're on the road pretty much the whole way because you will not, most likely not get a home game unless a 4 seed upsets a 1. Now the fumble on the field, the ball is loose, and Cartersville trying to dive on it, and it looks like it's going to be Haralson County football. So the first turnover of the game against the Canes comes when the JV's in, and tough play that time for Stephen Morris as he tried to pick the ball up instead of fall on it.
Yeah, really, you drop it like that, and you get a second shot at it. You really can't try to pick it up on the fly. You got to fall on the football. I'm sure he'll be told that once he makes his way to the sidelines.
So Haralson County takes over, Matt, at their own 24-yard line.
First turnover of the night for the Hurricanes.
11:40 to go in the game, and Haralson County will bring it up to the line. So there goes any chance of the clock moving a little bit. As Ravansky comes out of the shotgun. 11:30 to go here in the game. 35-0 your score. Ravansky rolling out, and he's going to roll out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and of course that will stop the clock with 11:23 to go in the game. Canes leading at 35-0 if you're just joining us. It has been all Cartersville from the get-go. Canes scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Basically set the tone, taking the opening kickoff, marching 80 yards in 10 plays, spanning 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And then Antoine Sams took it in from 18 yards out to make it 7-0. And Cartersville has really put the starters to bed right now, and they're just getting ready for LaGrange Friday night.
Justin Sanford in across the line, as well as Chad Tatum.
Ravansky throws to the flat, and it's almost picked off that time. coming through was Anthony Townsend, and boy, if he had hung on to that ball, Matt, he was going the other way for 6.
I think he was looking at those woods back there behind the end zone as he broke on that one. Good defensive play by Townsend. Tell you what, these guys put an awful lot. These guys that are in right now are the ones that are responsible for giving the starters a really good look at practice. So, these guys are used to competing on a very high level in practice, and deserve some of the credit for the starters looking and playing so well. And it's a chance for them to get in, hit somebody in who you don't go to class with for a change. And so it's a chance for them to shine for the coaches. They know this is going to be on film, and they know that this is going to open up opportunities later in the season.
11:09 to go in the game. 35-0 your score as Ravansky comes out of the shotgun. Haralson County throws wide receivers down the field. Ball in the air, and it's going to be deflected. Great defensive effort that time by the Canes' Josh Woodward, who came in and batted that ball down. And it brings up 4th down, and now Haralson County has got to try to make something happen.
They're going to continue to go for it, Scott. This is kind of a learning process for them. This is the first year running this offense. You got a first-year quarterback and a young team, and practice having yourself in these situations where you got to get first downs. You're not really going to learn anything by punting it. They'll bring in Jared Taylor and take out their running back Brandon Wood.
So Haralson County will bring it up to the line. They'll run 4 wide receivers out of the shotgun this time. Goes David Ravansky. He rolls out to his left, throws across the middle of the field, and the ball is going to be caught for the first down. And then coming on to make the play defensively is Josh Woodward. He makes the stick, but not before Haralson picks up a first down with 10:41 to go here in the game. And now the referee will signal to stop the clock with 10:37 to go. That 20 has slipped the timekeeper in, doing a lot of good. Yeah. 10:35 to go here in the game. Almost 10 o'clock. We got a long drive ahead of us. And I wish Haralson County would just load it up in double tights and run the ball a little bit, but they have not done anything but go 4 wides tonight.
They've had 9, check that, they have had 14 running attempts. Some of those planned, some of those not planned.
Ravansky out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield. He drops back. Hurricanes show a little pressure. He's going to roll out. Stanford in pursuit, and he's going to get across the 25, the 40, and takes a lick out near the 45-yard line. Laying the hammer that time was Chris Cochran. Might be the hit of the game, but he goes out of bounds at the 40, just shy of the 45-yard line. We'll call it 44, and it brings up 2nd and 5, and the clock stops with 9:53 to go.
Good news, he got out of bounds. Keep the clock from the, it's like a Georgia Southern game. Georgia Southern usually was on the upper hand in these type of football games. But when they had Tracy Ham, who went on to play with the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL, they used to put the ball up a ton. Man, those games would last 3.5, 4 hours. And
now a penalty flag.
Got to be against. I was going to say, one of the folks next door said it has to be against a coach. The timing of that, I don't really know what that'd be. It's going to be a
unsportsmanlike conduct against the Rebels, so it must have come from the sidelines.
The coach, the only thing I think of is Ravansky was hit kind of borderline on the out of bounds marker. Maybe they wanted an unsportsmanlike call against Cartersville, and said the magic word, and they're going to march 15 back the other direction. Said, Coach, you want to see a flag on a play? Here's one. Sounds an awful lot like the band that played on the Titanic, doesn't it?
So, Coach Peavy, I think, got waived for that 15 yards. So that'll back him up a little bit. The clock runs.
The good news is the clock started running again.
9:43 to go here in the game. 35-0 your score. Cartersville on top of this one. David Ravansky out of the shotgun, drops back, throws to the flat. It's complete, and he'll be across the 38, down to the 39-yard line. The ball carrier that time, number 9, Matthew Pritchard.
Julian Woodward on the tackle on that one.
Justin Sanford checks out of the game. I'd like to thank our television sponsors for tonight's game. Cartersville Medical Center, Badcock Home Furniture and more. The Bartow County Bank, we'll tell you a few more in just a second. 8:58 to go here in the game. 35-0 your score. Cartersville on top. They drop back. Ravansky throws it over the top after the pump fake. He's got a receiver in the air. He's caught it at the 25, the 20, and he'll be brought down at the 15-yard line. The reception made by Josh Anders. And now Haralson County penetrating Cartersville the most they have all game, and now they'll work from the Cartersville 15-yard line. Again, I'd like to thank Century Bank, Win Pontiac, Bodyplex, Quiznos, who provided tonight's pregame meal for the crew. Sports Max, Bartow County Animal Hospital, Powell's Car Wash, Georgia Power, U.S. Industrial Supply, the Daily Tribune News, Mission Tire, Arco Ideas and Designs, the Blue Sky Car Wash, RPM Performance Parts and Accessories, Crescent Bank, Car Audio Sensations, North Metro Tech, City Motors, The Cutting Edge, First Presbyterian Church, and Owens Hardware and Sporting Goods out of Rome.
Officials timeout with 8:12 to go in the game. Nice toss that time by Radvansky. That puts him over 100 yards passing on the game. 10 of 28. About 30% completion rate, 160 yards. Almost about 40% of them coming right there. Is a 45-yard pitch and catch has Haralson on the Cartersville 15-yard line.
8:02 to go in the game, and this time they'll give it to the fullback around the left end, and Brandon Wood running toward the 10-yard line, and he'll be brought down right there. Gains a couple on first down, and now the second string defense is going to have to hold up here.
Chris Cochran on the tackle. I'll tell you what, we've said his name a bunch tonight.
So Haralson County moving down the field, Matt.
I don't understand. Now they said to stop the clock, and then they said to start the clock, all on one whistle. I don't know what the deal is, but if they're going to err in one direction,
well, let's keep running.
Get that shoulder loose, buddy. Let's get it cranked up.
7:23 to go here in the game. 35-0 your score as Haralson County brings it up to the line. They'll work from the 9-yard line. Rebels will come out of 4 wides. David Ravansky coming out of the shotgun. Again, 4 wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield is Brandon Wood. And this time he hands off to the fullback up the middle, who pushes his way toward the 5, and he'll be brought down at the, looks like the 1-yard line. And so Haralson County, with just under 7 minutes to go in the game, is knocking on the door. Brandon Wood looks like he's coming up limping a little bit. Good size back for only a sophomore.
He's got 45 yards on 11 carries. Decent, 4+ per carry. Expect for him to get this, and this is really where I think they need to have a different kind of formation. First and goal from the 1-yard line. You got to come out of some kind of running set.
Well, this time they hand off right up the middle to the fullback, and he loses a yard. Actually, he pushes for the extra effort and gets into the end zone. So Haralson County on the scoreboard. It's 35-6, and now they'll come in to attempt the extra point.
Nice tackle by Chad Tatum. Just so little yardage to gain. I just think, Scott, in that situation, you got to get under center, and you've got to at least show that you're going to have a running play. Coming out of the shotgun like that, you're going to be unsuccessful more times than you are. Their kicker will got to be called in and didn't do anything all night. David Kinsley coming on for the attempt.
Kicked off to start the game, and I haven't seen him since. So they'll line up for the extra point. The snap is down, the kick is on the way, and it's good. Cartersville leads it 35-7, and we'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the weekend, listening to WBHF AM 1450.
Well, Scott, trying to find exciting things to talk about. It's 35-7 now with 6:23 to go. The kicker, actually, on the extra point was Jared Taylor. You see most kickers today kick soccer style. Taylor went at it a lot like former Redskins kicker Mark Mosley, straight on. Even had one of those rubber bands that you put around your toe to keep your toe up in the air.
Well, having grown up in the Washington area, I probably saw more straightaway kickers in high school than anybody else in the country because of Mark Mosley, and he ran a kicking camp, and everybody kicked straight on, and it was. I mean, I'm telling you, people didn't miss extra points. I mean, I still think the soccer style is the better way to go. But boy, if you can master the Mark Mosley method, it works.
I
right, running straight up the field now for the Hurricanes on the return. That time is Roman Gilliam. He's across the 26, out near the 27-yard line, and that's where the Hurricanes will take over. 6 minutes to go in the game. Canes leading at 35-7.
It'll be an interesting stat to look up. I don't know where or why you'd even want to, but, you know, for a while there in the NFL and through college, there were, you know, the barefoot kicker.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be at least 2 or 3. There are none anymore. Where have all the barefooted kickers gone?
I tried it one time, almost broke my toe. I think it was.
Well, maybe they're all in physical therapy recovering from broken toes. We got a timeout on the field, and why don't we take one too? God only knows what other kind of trouble we'll get into if we don't. 6:08 to go, 35-7 Hurricanes. You're listening to WBHF and watching the game of the week. .608 to go, fourth quarter. Just got a moment to tell you the funniest 3 hours of local radio takes place Saturday mornings from 7 to 10. It's A&M in the AM with Alan Sanders and myself, Matt Santini. Of course, it's a biased opinion. But if you don't believe me, just find out for yourself. Tune us in Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on AM 1450 WBHF.
Well, Matt, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They will work out of the wing tee. 6:08 to play in the game. And this time they'll run it right up the field. Chris Cochran across the 35 out near the 38-yard line. And the Hurricanes will, looks like they'll be in first down territory there as they'll move the chains. And guess what? The clock stops with 5:55 to go here in the game. Cartersville up 35-7.
Needed to master the 9-yard run. Chris Cochran now with 5 carries of 10 or plus yardage. 9 carries, 81 yards. Not a bad way to break yourself in there, young man.
Well, Benji Farr will bring him up to the line. He'll work out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send Morris in motion. They give it to him around the right end. Stephen Morris gains a couple as he gets across the 40 out near the 43-yard line. Clock continues to run. 5:24 to go in the game. 35-7 your score. Stephen Morris in at tailback for the Canes.
Boy, Scott, just so many guys that could run the football and make things happen for this football team. And you don't even think about it, but you've got 4 quarterbacks that you can run in there. Saw Lyle Allen a little bit earlier, and you've got Benji Farr up there now as Farr brings him up to the line. Out of the wing tee set, they'll send a man in motion. It's Morris. They'll give it to him around left end. Morris looking for a block. He gets one as he works his way across the across the 39. Say that again. He's brought down at the 44-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play. Bring up 3rd down and 6. See what happens when in the last second you decide not to call the play?
There you go.
Maybe about 3 seconds worth of time, and I'll be able to help you there.
3rd and 5 coming up for the Canes. Benji Farr again in the game at quarterback for Cartersville. Canes will bring it up to the line.
Andrew Young in at left tackle, trying to get some of these names in there.
Out of the wing tee, the Hurricanes will go under center. And this time Farr drops back, kind of a Statue of Liberty play, and he keeps it himself as he runs across the 47 out near the 48-yard line, and he'll be very near the first down. I'd like to remind you all that tomorrow morning, starting at 6 a.m. and running all afternoon, you can see our local infomercials featuring Win Pontiac. If you want a new car, what a fantastic show you can watch right there. They'll load up about 45 to 60 cars. You can take a look at them, see what you want, and then, of course, go in and stop in. Nice guys down there will make you a great offer on a new ride. And then, of course, don't forget Cartersville Outlet. They will be advertising some of the best furniture deals in North Georgia tomorrow. That's all day long from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., with the exception of the time the game runs. Cartersville with the football, and they'll run it right up the middle on 4th down, and looks like they've got it. We'll see where they spot the ball.
Well, didn't need to get much, but that's still going to be very close.
I don't think they got a very good spot on the ball. And nope, they didn't get it, so Haralson County takes over. So with 2:56 to go in the game, Haralson County will get the football. And they'll come back the other way. Cartersville has put their starters to bed about midway through the 3rd quarter, if even that long. I don't think they lasted into the midway part of the 3rd. Haralson County has left their starters in the game. Trying to get some points here. Cartersville, of course, looking forward to Friday night when LaGrange comes to town.
Will Davis in at a linebacker along with Chris Cochran, who stayed in the game. Mentioned Justin Sanford's name a couple times. These guys on the near side are much easier to spot. Edgewan Jackaway, Josh Woodward in the defensive backfield.
And dropping back to pass is Rosansky, throws it in the air. He's got a receiver and wide open at the 10, the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Goes number 7, Tyler Bright. And just like that, Haralson County on the board. With 2:26 to go in the game, it's now a 35-13 lead. So a big play offensively there for Haralson County, and now the Rebels will kick for it here. 2:26 to go in the contest.
Last 2 passes for Advansky, he's got 94 yards. Now hit on 4 straight.
Like Jared Taylor will check into the game. He'll be in at fullback for the Rebels as they will go for 2.
Going to come out of the I formation too. Guys must be lost.
3 wide receivers, and for the first time tonight, the quarterback will go under center, and they hand it off to the fullback right up the middle, and he bounces into the end zone for the 2-point conversion to make it 35-15, a 20-point advantage for the Canes. 2:26 to go in this one. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the weekend, listening to WBHF AM 1450.
.226 to go in the ball game. Fresh off the touchdown. Haralson County now lining up for the onside kick. The Cartersville receiving team now scooting up as well to attempt the onside kick is Clay Kilgore.
Ball is on the ground, and ball still on the ground, and we'll see who's got it. Looks like the Canes have fallen on it, and the Cartersville will take over right at the midfield stripe with 2:22 to go in the game. Haralson County only has 1 timeout, so this should just about do it. They can stop the clock once. And again, some of the younger players in the game offensively for the Canes.
Chris Topham in across the line. Once again, I mentioned Andrew Young. These guys with their backs to us, you can see the jerseys much better. Lyle Allen back in to play quarterback. Splitting out wide is Benji Farr, so he's on the field as a wide receiver this time.
Out of the wing tee, this time the Hurricanes run the ball right up the middle. Ball carrier that time is Edgewan Jackaway, who got across midfield down to about the 45-yard line of Haralson County. Clock continues to run with 2:07 to go in the game. 35-15 to go. Again, if you'd like a copy of tonight's game, and that is, of course, open to any fans of Haralson County that like to see their team with these last 2 touchdown drives, call 770-527-0637. And as always, copies of tonight's game are made available for $25 on VHS. Later in the season, we could possibly have a DVD price. We got to work out some kinks in the system. And this time, they hand off right up the middle that time. The ball carrier, number 25, Kenneth Thomas. And if you buy a VHS copy, you can always upgrade to DVD for the difference in the price once we come up with the price for the DVD. So don't feel like you should wait around. Go ahead, get the VHS and start watching it. 1:15 to go here in the game. 35-15 your score. Checking back into the game offensively for the Canes is Lyle Allen. He'll be in a quarterback now, running the show here as we get near a minute. 3rd and 3 the call, and they hand off again around the right end to Edgewan Jackaway, who's across the 40 down to the 36-yard line. And of course, you can order copies of any Hurricane football game this season. We have 5 games under our belt, actually 6 now under our belt tonight, after tonight. Again, 770-527-0637. Don't forget, the Frank Barden Show airs on Thursday nights at 7:30. Following Meet the President, Kennesaw State University's President's Show.
You're going to send this check for all this advertising to me? For God's sake, give it a rest.
32 seconds to go in the game. Hurricanes with the football. They give it to Jackaway around the right end, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Dropped for a loss back at the 42. 23 seconds to go. And, of course, don't forget, tomorrow morning you can hear the greatest AM morning show from 7 to 10 on WBHF AM 1450.
That's what I'm talking about. That's acceptable.
What else can I tell you about it? Don't forget, of course.
Next week, Scott, as the clock runs out, we'll be at home against the LaGrange Grangers, a game that could very well determine who's going to win this region as the clock runs out and the Hurricanes take care of business on the road against the Haralson County Rebels. A final score of 35-15, a game that was never really in doubt. And Haralson County does what most teams do when they take a nice thrashing. They turn off the clock and turn it back on, so the score is no longer up there. I can guarantee if they'd have won it by that margin, it would probably sit up there until next Friday night. So Scott, well, what do you want to do?
Well, speaking of next Friday night, let me tell you quickly, as you said, LaGrange at home next Friday night. The Hurricanes move to 6-0 for the first time since 1999. And, of course, they take on 5-1 LaGrange next Friday night at Weinman Stadium, and you can hear all the action live right here on WBHF AM 1450. And, of course, that will be the Workhorse Video Productions High School Football Game of the Week to air the following Tuesday night and Saturday morning. You've been watching the High School Football Game of the Week and listening to WBHF as Cartersville walks away with a 35-15 victory.